Hey, we're back. And with this, I believe, and I actually have to double check the remaining movies coming out this year. I think this is the last animated movie of the year, which means I can actually make my best animated film list early this year. I think. Let me double check. I'm going to actually double check that right now. But I do think this is the last animated film of the year. So, yeah. Oh, no, sorry, nope. Still got SpongeBob. I forgot I still got SpongeBob. Anyway, Zootopia 2. Big fan of the original Zootopia. I saw that first when it came out in theaters. Mark was even with me for that one, back when Mark still joined me for movies. But yeah, it's the follow up to a very successful film, and I've been hearing nothing but solid things about it. What's it currently hold on Rotten Tomatoes? Excuse me, from both the critics and the audience. Again, audience is where you vote, really, or where the money comes from, because those are the people going to see the movie. But at least the critic score will give us an idea of what the overall thought process on it was, and that can influence the critical score. Sorry, the audience score. So let's see here. Uh, where are you? I always hate, for some reason, Rotten Tomatoes is actually one of the slower sites like upload. I probably got a bunch of crap on my computer slowing things down. Zootopia 2 holds a 92% from the critics and a 96% from the audience. So yeah, it is gonna do just fine. And Wake Up Dead Man's currently got a huge rating. I can't wait to see if that's gonna be in theaters somewhere, or if it hasn't already popped up. Anyway, so Zootopia 2. It follows the continuing story of obviously Judy and Nick. They're partners on the job. They get framed for something involving a snake, played by Garrett. I'm going a little too high pitch. Gary the Snake. But it's them trying to prove something about the snake while trying to prove their own partnership, because they are an odd couple. And they really do kind of double down on the odd coupleness a little bit in this film. Like they worked well together in the first film, but they still were at odds. Here, they're actually arguably more at odds here. They're just friends now officially. That's it's. If there's one thing I'll actually say I'm not sure I liked about the film, it's kind of the rehash of this topic. Like they are very different. They have different methods. So working together, and they have their own bag trauma that comes with that. And so I felt that I wasn't really, while it worked overall, wasn't I wasn't not enjoying is not the right word. What's the word I'm looking for here? I wasn't necessarily feeling this plot point as strongly in this movie as I did in the first movie, particularly because when you watch the movie, while Nick is certainly cynical and maybe does some things wrong, Judy's not unbearable, but she's a little more unlikable in this version than she is in the original, because the whole idea is neither of them are listening to each other. Yes, they have a reconciliation near the end, and yes, it's like, okay, we both put our cards on the table, whatnot, but Judy just she's you know what she is? I literally got Parks and Rec on the background right now. She's Leslie Noping this. She is literally steamrolling Nick's opinions at every turn for a while in this movie. And when you get someone like that, as much as I love Parks and Rec, Leslie is actually one of my least favorite characters on the show. Take out the characters you're not supposed to like John Ralphio. You like him because you don't like him. Leslie, in terms of like the characters you like, is one of my least liked characters in that show. And Judy's kind of going that route in the show, I'm going to be honest. But it's never goes so far that I actually hate Judy. Because I know in the end there's going to be some sort of reconciliation here. But I don't like the fact that there's a lot of blame and shitting on Nick. And she's not getting a lot of that. I don't like the trade-off with that, because she's also not helping the scenario very well. But I take that off the table for a minute. I do still really like the film. It still looks just as fantastic as the original one does. The new characters are a lot of fun. You get obviously Gary the Snake. You get Gary. You also get the villains of the film, who are basically a group of lynxes. I can't remember where are our main um cat really? Oh no, that's someone else. Um, I'm trying to find where the voice actors for the lynxes are. I can't remember, but anyway, yeah, it's like a family of lynxes. And the whole idea is they're the ones that are responsible for like the weather separation system for Zootopia, but there's there's a hidden dark past with them. And one of them is played by Andy Samberg, well, at first I thought for a brief minute was Zachary Levi, because when you actually, if you don't have them if you don't have them like next to each other and listen to them talk, if you're just listening to their voices back to back, they do sound very similar. So I, for a moment, thought it was Zachary Levi, but no, he is voiced by Andy Samberg, and he's an actually interesting character, especially because of the reveals we get with his character, with other reveals down the road. I've heard people say it's a better mystery. Yeah, I'd say it was a better mystery. I would say it's better, yeah, because you know someone's pulling the strings, you know someone's trying to frame predators in the first one, and so if you really break it down a little bit, you could probably figure it out. They do a better job here with the mystery, I think, because there's some twists and turns in the mystery that you don't quite see coming. There's also the new character of Fortune Fimster, who plays Nibs and Maplestick, this beaver, like almost conspiracy nut, who is actually very funny. So I did like that. Even though I don't love everything about the rehashing of the Odd Couple stuff with Nick and Judy, I do still think their chemistry is still fantastic. I still really, really enjoy it. I do like the new mayor, who's played by Patrick Warburton, who's his former movie star turned mayor. I do like that. The action is also, quick. It's colorful, but it's not like so obnoxious. I've heard like the Disney Plus joke where it's like just a bunch of animals inserted into movies was a bit uh, too much for some people. I could see it because it's a really quick joke in one scene and then they double down on it in another scene. But they then do a movie reference that I couldn't help but laugh my ass off. Like, okay, that's a good use of a movie reference. It comes near the end. You'll know it immediately if you've seen the movie. But then it comes near the end. I'm like, that's a damn good use of a movie reference. It would have been better if you hadn't maybe doubled down a couple times on it, but beforehand. But it was still a really good use of a movie reference. Again, I like the new characters a lot. Nick and Judy are still good. I won't say if they do, in fact, as the term is, ship them. I will say there's a moment, whether or not they actually ship them or not is, I'll leave that as debate. I will say there is a scene early on where they're undercover where they pretend they're a couple. So they just kind of like giving the shippers what they want just a little bit. But no, honestly, I could take it or leave it if they actually decide to make them a romantic pairing or not. Because I do think they could actually work as a romantic pairing. But I think they also work just fine as friends. So that's one of those. It's, you know what? It's kind of like, weirdly enough to compare it to a different Disney movie entirely, Shang-Chi with Simu Shang, and I don't remember Awkwafina's character's name. I'm glad they did not become romantically involved in the movie. I'm really glad they did. They worked a lot better as friends. But because they have such a good friendship, and you can kind of see little glimpses that they could go further with that friendship and maybe turn to a romance. If they did go a romance in a future film, which they said they're going to do a second one for a while. It makes complete sense they could go that route. We've now got 2 movies with them. The route of a romance makes sense with them at some point. I'm not going to say if it really leans it towards it. Honestly, there are points in the movie where it does seem like they may be leaning towards it more. All I'll say is they do end in a good spot in the end of the movie. At the end of the movie, I will say that. And the future to expand a romantic relationship is there. So, and again, I don't know if it would. I like the fact too that when they're undercover, like no one's actually judging the fact that a bunny or a fox could be dating or married. So it's like, maybe there are like I mean, probably are interspecies relationships in Zootopia, but inter-carnivore herbivore relationships? I don't know what you would call that. There's interspecies, there's interracial. But what do you consider dietary cross relationships? I'm predator and prey. Inter food chain relationship. I guess that's the closest thing I can think of. And then of course you also have the new expansion to the story of reptiles. Why they aren't in Zootopia really? Why? Where are they? Why aren't they more in Zootopia? And what happened with that story arc. And we get a lot of fun stuff with the reptiles. There's some jokes I saw a mile away. Like there's a speakeasy with them that's got a tortoiseshell door that opens to reveal it's just a tortoise. I saw that a mile away. But then you get other things like the shedding skin bits, the tail, like the tail coming off bits. So yeah, and then obviously like you get Gary himself, who is a very enjoyable character. Kiyu Kwan is just a very enjoyable actor at this point in his career. I love it. No, and look, let me be full transparent. I do not like the character Short Round. Do not like him. That has nothing to do with Kiyu Kwan himself. That had everything to do with direction. So yeah, it's nothing to do with him. And as he disappeared from Hollywood for a while, now he's had a resurgence. He's was in Everything Everywhere All at Once. He had his own action, Love Hurts, which he's fine in it. Did not like the movie that much. There's just too many things wrong with the movie. But also you have him, and obviously you have him Loki season 2. I'm sure he's got some other things coming down the pipeline. In fact, hold on, Gary the Sneak, like he is just having a real big resurgence as of late, and I'm really, because he also got to win an Oscar. I'm like, I'm just so happy for this guy. I really am, because first off, he actually can do martial arts, which is awesome. But beyond that, like he is just got a very lovable, infectious personality to him. So I mean, what else is it? I mean, he doesn't have anything lined up at the moment. He had something called Bad Boy, the Electric State. Oh, he was in Electric State. Okay, he was in an episode of White Lotus, Love Hurts, Tenacious D. Oh, that's right. He voices Monkey, I believe. No, not Monkey. He voices. Oh, no, he's just in the music video. Okay, because he voices Han in Kung Fu Panda 4. Okay. Again, Loki, Chinese Born, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and then I mean he had a couple early. He had his first movie role since 2002 was Finding Ohana, and then he was in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and now he's just having a very solid second part of his career, honestly. And even before that, he still had a pretty okay career back in his younger years. He was in Encino Man. Oh God, where'd that come from? Holy crap! There we go. And honestly, he had a pretty solid young career. Okay, you know what? In his defense, absolutely, in his defense of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, that was his first ever role. So absolutely, you got to take that into consideration too. Obviously, he was in the Goonies as well. A movie called It Takes a Thief, Passenger, Nothing Is Easy, which is he's on a TV show. Okay, I don't know what that is. Nothing Is Easy. It was like 7 years after Indiana Jones. A movie called Breathing Fire, Head of the Class, Tales from the Crypt. Oh, hey, if you can ever be on Tales of the Crypt, good for you. A movie called Red Pirate. And then after a second time around, I'm guessing his just career wasn't quite going on, taking the direction he wanted. Plus, maybe having trouble getting away from Short Round and the Goonies. So he just left. He disappeared for, no joke, 19 years. Then he did a movie called Finding Ohana, and then Everything All at Once. And then his career's kind of been taken off again. He doesn't have anything apparently lined up right now, but honestly, he's at a point in his life where he can just do what he wants. And people say, "Hey, Kiyu, can you do a voice?" He's like, "Oh, I'd love to do a voice." Hey, we got a vehicle for you to be in a movie. He's like, "Cool, I want me in MCU. Awesome. I'm just happy to be working again." Like, so yeah, absolutely. I love Kiyu Kwan. I really do like him as a person and as an actor. So Yeah, and then there is a post-credit scene. Stay for it. It's not much, but does at least drop you a hint at where a third movie can go. It's mostly done for comedic effect, but there is a brief hint because if you notice, there's a third type of and I'm not saying too much, but you can kind of get what I'm saying by this. There's a third type of animal that you don't see in Zootopia. What is that animal? Well, you can figure it out from there. But until then, yeah. That's my thoughts on Zootopia 2. It's a really good movie. It's a really good follow up. Do I say I like maybe the first film a little bit better? Yeah, I think I like the first film a little bit better. But that's a high bar. This film's still great. Um, so yeah, in terms of trailers, we got SpongeBob, which thank God I remembered SpongeBob. I was about to do a list without watching that. So SpongeBob, Search for SquarePants. I'll admit it does feel a little bit more like the original. Um, uh, it does feel a little bit more like the original movie, a little bit, which I like the original movie. I didn't see it in theaters, but I did ultimately get it. Watch it later on, and I'm like, yeah, this is fine. It does feel a little bit more like that than the other ones they did. Yeah, it's still that weird CGI animation that I'm not super fond of with SpongeBob, but I can survive and live without it, or I can live with it. Let's see here. I'm trying to remember everything we had. They gave us Avatar, Search for Fire and Ash again. It's a shortened trailer, but we're also getting close to Avatar as well. Anyway, we had Goat, which I finally are getting that more heavily marketed. I'm kind of interested in Goat. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, yeah, it really is just a if you did this with humans, it could still work as a story. But the fact you're doing it with animals, you still have like this traits of animals, like a lizard shedding his skin and all that. I am wondering if, just again, if there's going to be a romance, if the goat is going to maybe get romantically involved with the panther. That would be weird, but I could be down with it. There's also, and I finally got to see a trailer for Hoppers, the new one coming out next year, where essentially you're mind jumping into an animal robot to actually communicate with animals and interact with them, and a crazy girl basically decides to do that, help the animals uprise, only for the animals to be basically like, we're gonna kill them all. Like, whoops. I can already tell I'm probably not gonna like that main character that much. Because I do not like characters who flagrant the rules, um, who just do what they want, not realizing there are going to be consequences, and then realize, oh shit, I screwed up. It's like, yeah, you did because you're an idiot. I really don't like characters like that, especially if they're the. Let me rephrase that. Those characters work fine when they're not the lead. I have a feeling and now don't get me wrong, I understand the lead in a lot of these animated films needs to be flawed on some level, needs to be making a mistake that they need to fix or something like that. Not every time, mind you. But like, honestly, Turning Red's a perfect example of that. That's not what the plot of Turning Red really is. Yeah, Aylin makes some mistakes, but she's like turning 13. They all make mistakes sometimes. It's fine. Her mom and her the culture are a little bit more the problems in that movie than anything else. And her mom's kind of the not even an antagonist. She's just kind of the roadblock in that movie a little bit. So that's a movie where that doesn't work, and there are other movies where that doesn't need to happen. And again, there are movies where characters make mistakes, absolutely. But you can still like them. I have a feeling like this character who's just ignoring everyone and just doing what she wants is going to piss me off on some level. But who knows? Maybe I'm dead. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm dead wrong. Maybe she's the best character ever written. What other film? Oh, we got Super Mario Galaxy, which I'm looking forward to. Looks fun. Anything else? I really got to remember to bring the notebook. I can't think of anything else right now that I got for trailers. I know I got like 2 other trailers or something like that. I just can't remember what exactly they were. Oh, wait a minute. There was, I think, one. No, what? No, I lost it. Hold on. Let me see if I can, because they're all now pretty much for next year. They're not. We only got like a month left of this year, so. So buttons. Uh, I'm not. I should pretty much just go to next year now. It's like upgrade my upcoming movies calendar now. I go to Movie Insider in their list, so that's where I'm going. So that's where I get these from. Let me see here. Charlie the Wonder Dog. No idea what that is. Let's see here. Colts. Nope. Goat. We already talked about that. How to make a second? I can only imagine. Nope. Hoppers. I talked about that. There's like two that I'm missing. Mario talked about that. SpongeBob, Avatar. There's like something I'm missing here. And what is it? Let's see here now. Animal Friends, no. The Mandalorian, no. I feel like I'm missing one, and it's bothering me what it is that I'm missing. Because now we're like, I'm way too far into the year, so I must have got all the trailers we had. Because I'm not, even the live action ones aren't ringing a bell for me. Anyway, though, I digress. Zootopia 2, good movie. It's got, I mean, I do think I like the first one more, but this is basically has a lot of the same vibe and tone as the original. So if you like the original in any capacity, you will enjoy this. Anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.